The ancient borough of Silverbrook lay under a strange hush, not the hush of dread, nor of ruin, but of wonder and disbelief. For 3 moons, the wealthiest manor houses had been waking lighter. No door forced, no lock broken, no watchman roused. Yet by sunrise, a sapphire the size of a thrush's egg, a coffer of imperial denarii, or an astrolabe of silver gilt, would simply be gone. The king's High-Constable, Ser Aldric Vale, had already received his final summons from the palace. 7 days, or the badge passes to another. That same evening, the great bell of the market cross tolled, an uncommon proclamation. On the morrow, His Majesty's Justice, the Lord Chief Magistrate of the Western Marches, Ser Aldric Vale, shall sit in special session. Whoever can aid in the apprehension of this thief, be he man sprite or shadow, let him come forth. Ser Aldric's fame traveled ahead of him, like a north wind, swift, sharp, and impossible to outrun. In his court, the sword of the law was whetted to a whisper, yet its edge was ever tempered by mercy. He knew not only the statutes inked in royal decrees, but also the unwritten codex of the human heart. When dawn rose, the Guildhall was packed, merchants in damask, still smelling of camphor, widows clutching ledgers of loss, and common folk, who could ill afford a single stolen candle. Ser Aldric listened in stillness, gloved fingers steepled beneath his chin. At last he spoke, voice low, certain. This is no common cutpurse. This is an artist, one who leaves no footprint, no echo, yet every artist signs his work. He closed his gray eyes, as though listening for a distant chord. When the lids lifted again, the hall felt colder. Return to your homes. Within 7 turnings of the sun, the perpetrator shall stand before you. But first, you must obey a single decree. Ser Aldric dared the question. What decree, my lord? From this night until the 7th, at the moment the sun sinks beneath the horizon, every dwelling, be it keep or cottage, shall set 1 lantern upon the threshold, not held in the hand, but placed upon the ground. 1 member of that household shall stand over it for the space of 10 counted minutes. No word spoken, no gaze lifted. When the bell of St. Cuthbert tolls the 10th minute, the lantern may be taken inside, and the door barred. So it is ordered, so it shall be. A ripple of astonishment passed through the crowd, but Ser Aldric's word was seal enough. That first evening, Silverbrook transformed, as the sky bled, and rust, a galaxy of horn lamps and crystal lanterns bloomed along the cobbles. Rows of motionless sentinels, masters, gullions, grandames, stable boys, stood over their small domes of light. The only sounds were the river murmuring beneath, the stone bridge, and the soft clink of armor, where the city watch observed from the shadows, from the oriel window of the old alchemist's tower, now commandeered as the magistrate's temporary chambers. Ser Aldric surveyed the spectacle. Beside him hovered his clerk, a lean boy in ink-stained velvet, named Baldwin. What do you see? The magistrate murmured. 1,000 fallen stars, my lord, and every soul as silent as the moon. Look closer, Baldwin. In stillness, the faintest footfall becomes thunder. In lantern glow, the narrowest shadow stands revealed. The thief will come. He cannot help himself, for art, like guilt, craves an audience. The 2nd and 3rd nights passed without incident. The lanes of Silverbrook remained a mute constellation of lanterns. On the 4th dusk, Ser Aldric turned from the window and said, Baldwin, take the back lanes and walk the circuit of the walls. Count every flame. Note any door that closes before the 10th bell. Baldwin returned, breathless. All lanterns burn true, my lord, save one on the eastern verge, before the derelict manor they call Hallamere. A lamp stood lit upon the step, yet no watcher stood beside it. A spark kindled in the magistrate's eyes. Tomorrow night, he murmured, we shall borrow the thief's own vanity. At twilight of the 5th evening, Baldwin secreted palm-sized mirror beneath his doublet, slipping from the postern of the alchemist's tower. He circled to a copse of yew that flanked Hallamere's iron gates. With his back to the house, he raised the glass, angling it so that the abandoned threshold and its solitary lantern filled the polished circle. The bell of St. Cuthbert began its slow count. 1, 2. On the 3rd stroke, a ribbon of pale mist unfurled from the mullioned attic window high above, drifted downward, coiling about the flame, then dissolved into the light. The impossible followed. The lantern lifted. No hand, no string, hovered a handspan above the flagstone for the span of a heartbeat, and settled again as gently as settling snow. Had any eye watched straight on, the motion would have passed unseen. In the mirror, it leapt like a conjurer's reveal. Baldwin's skin prickled, yet he kept the magistrate's injunction. Observe, utter nothing. At the 10th bell, he sped back to the tower. Ser Aldric listened, smile thin as a blade. He rehearses his masterpiece, the justice said. Every artist signs his canvas. He cannot resist lifting the very light that praises him. Tomorrow he shall discover that mirrors praise in silence and betray in silence. Night, the 6th, 15 guards in charcoal wool ghosted through the alleys, each carrying a hunter's net of braided hemp, a shuttered dark lantern, and a strip of black linen to muffle breath. They ringed Hallamere like ravens round a dying stag. Baldwin, stationed beneath the yew, gripped his mirror in a sweating hand. Ser Aldric waited at the ruined portico, cloak drawn over the silver breastplate that had not seen war since the Northern Rebellion. In his gloved palm rested a sphere of rock crystal, an alchemical toy that trapped and bent moonlight. The sun sank. The city's galaxy of lanterns kindled. Hallamere's lone lamp stood sentinel before its gate. Bell 1, 2. On the 3rd stroke, the mist descended. The lantern quivered, hung, shimmering. Hold. Ser Aldric breathed to the wind. The mist began its retreat toward the attic. Now, 15 shutters snapped open. 15 beams of white fire crisscrossed the courtyard. Nets whirled upward, unfolding like night-blooming flowers. A single startled cry, neither human nor holy beast, echoed within the walls. Ser Aldric strode through the postern. Crystal raised its facets, drank the lantern glow, and spat it back in threads of violet light that wept the staircase. On the upper landing, something struggled, half substance, half shimmer, ensnared in hemp and revelation. In the name of the crown and the canon, the magistrate declared, be clothed in your true flesh. thief of lights. The crystal flared, the mist condensed into a slight, silver-haired figure, clad in mirror-bright cloth, that drank the violet and threw back 1,000 laughing reflections. An alchemist's cloak, stitched with threads of moon silver, outlawed 10 years past. The nets drew tight, the cloak tore, and at last the city saw the face of the one who had stolen its treasures without troubling. Alack, Elric, the glimmer, once court illusionist, now fallen to pride and larceny. Baldwin, panting at the threshold, heard Ser Aldric's quiet verdict. Art is free, but the artist answers to the law. Bind him. At dawn, we measure the weight of his wonder against the scales of justice. The sun slipped beneath the river mist. The galaxy of lanterns kindled before Hollowmere. The lone lamp quivered like a trapped star. 8 minutes of silence crawled by. Then, lift, hover, settle. From the attic window, the familiar ribbon of white unfurled. Ser Aldric raised his crystal. Now, 15 beams converged. Guards closed the ring. Nets ready. Boots soundless on the frost-rimed flags. The magistrate pushed the great door. It yielded without groan, merely pretending to be barred. Within, the hall lay immaculate, a Persian carpet unrolled, walls hung with faded tapestries of unicorn and griffin, and on a single oak table the 3 lost treasures: the silk prayer-rug of House Valoris, the jade-inlaid writing casket of the Duchess of Avalyn, the star dial of silver and rock crystal that had once kept time for the royal observatory. No living soul in sight. Above, Baldwin cried. On the stair landing, the mist thickened, coiling upon itself until it wore the shape of a youth, barely 20, linen-white garments catching the lantern glow like spun moon. He descended, palms open, eyes wide with exhausted dread, and knelt upon the carpet before Ser Aldric. Forgive me, my Lord Justice. I am the thief you hunt. Sir Godric lunged, but the magistrate's upraised hand halted, steel, midair. Your name? Ser Aldric asked, voice gentle as snowfall. Eric, my lord, son of Elias, the color maker. The magistrate signaled. Baldwin produced quill and parchment. Speak, Eric. Let truth pay the first installment of your debt. The youth story poured like white dye into clear water. His father had been a dyer of surpassing skill, master of pigments that drank light and returned it as absence from matter, and chalk from woad and pearlash. Elias had wrought a white that could bend vision round itself, a science, not sorcery, though the church had once muttered of alchemy. He had taught his son the loom side secrets, how to weave cloth whose warp and weft cancelled shadow, how to stitch seams that the eye slid across like ice. But Elias had bound the craft with one vow. Asterisk, let it serve only wonder, never wickedness. Asterisk. Then came winter, fever, and the physician's bill. Eric's mother lay coughing blood upon straw, while creditors measured their mercy in farthings. 3 moonless nights, Eric wrestled with his father's dying words. At last, he cut the forbidden cloth, scaled the garden walls of the grate, and took only what would never be missed. Amid their excess, a rug, casket, a toy of stars, each theft was carried back to Hollowmere, once his family's lawful seat, now lost to lien and lawsuit. I harmed no common soul, Eric pleaded, tears spotting the priceless carpet. And I touched but these 3 treasures, the other disappearances. By my life, I know nothing of them. Ser Aldric listened until the echo of the boy's breath was the only sound in the hall. At length, he turned to Sir Godric. Chain him, but gentle. The law must measure not only what was stolen, but why. To Baldwin, he added, seal these objects, inventory every gem. On the morrow, we convene in the Guildhall. The Crown will decide whether mercy may balance account with restitution. As the guards led Eric away, the youth looked back once, not at the treasures, but at the lantern, still burning on the threshold, as though bidding farewell to the only witness he had never wished to deceive. Sir Godric stared at the confessing youth. Dozens of burglaries, and you claim but 3. Ser Aldric's brows drew together like closing gates. Speak plainly, Eric. Are there other hands at work? The boy's nod was a whisper of despair. I laid claim only to the rug, the casket, the star dial. When I sought to sell the rug, I heard the city crying thief at a score of losses. Terror rooted me. I meant to return all, but your decree came swifter than repentance. The magistrate's gaze swept the hall. A glimmer beneath the carpet's fringe caught his eye. He knelt, lifted the woven corner. A single flagstone sat askew. Baldwin pried it up. A rush of cool, musty air sighed from the darkness below. An oubliette mouth, just wide enough for a man's shoulders. Iron rungs vanished into blackness. Where does this lead? Ser Aldric asked. Eric's eyes widened. I never knew it existed, my lord. Then another troop has danced beneath our feet while you pirouette above, the magistrate said grimly. He turned to Sir Godric. We have chased a shadow while a wolf pack prowled the warren. From his purse, Ser Aldric counted out 10 gold rose nobles. Take these, fetch the leech of St. Bridget's. See your mother cured. Tomorrow at dawn, you will stand in the Guildhall, but your testimony may lighten the scales. Will you guide us through the dark? You did not fashion. Tears cut pale runnels through the dust on Eric's cheeks. I will walk first into hell itself. If it buys my mother breath. They prepared in silence. Baldwin with chalk to mark turns. Sir Godric with a short boar spear. 6 guards in brigandines. Lanterns shuddered, save a single slit. Eric wrapped in his father's color-drinking cloth. A ghost ahead of the living. The descent was steep. The air grew damp as a graveyard lily. Walls of Tudor brick, green with niter, arched barely a hand's breadth above Ser Aldric's head. At the first fork, Eric paused, fingers splayed upon the brick. I smell vinegar and hot oil. Ironwork, perhaps. They pressed left. 20 paces on, Baldwin's chalk discovered a fresh boot print in the silt. Square-heeled, city-made, not Eric's. Soft moccasin The magistrate nodded. We tread someone else's stage. A low vibration thrummed through the stone. Distant hammers on anvils. The passage widened into a rough-hewn cavern. Light leaked through a fissure ahead. Forge glow, orange and malevolent. Ser Aldric extinguished his lantern. The company crept forward. Through the crack, they beheld a subterranean workshop. A dozen men in leather aprons, melted plate, and candlesticks into ingots. Crates bore the crests of half the noble houses of Silverbrook. The center stood a thin man in clerk's black, ledger in hand. Master Corwin, the royal receiver of lost property, whose seal should have protected every stolen item. Sir Godric's knuckles whitened on his spear. The fox mines the hen house. Ser Aldric's reply was a breath. We take them alive. The king's justice needs names, not merely corpses. He signed Eric and 2 guards to circle right, cut off the rear postern. Baldwin to bear witness with quill and ink. Sir Godric to block the forge door. The magistrate himself stepped into the glow. Crystal sphere raised by authority of the crown and the western marches. His voice rang against rock. Lay down every tool and every lie. The dark is ended. The ledger of your nights is open. For a heartbeat, the underworld froze. Then Corwin snatched a branding iron, swung it crimson in a lethal arc, and the cavern erupted in sparks, shouts, and the iron taste of betrayal unearthed. The great bell had not yet finished tolling when the hall filled to suffocation. Nobles in velvet stood cheek by jowl with stable hands. Every tongue carried the same name. Suhail, Tijudin, Jamil. The saints turned bandits. Ser Aldric mounted the dais in black robe trimmed with crimson lion, the colors of crown justice. Beside him sat a scribe, inkpot trembling like a trapped beetle. Let the reckoning begin. Turning first to Eric, Eliason, he declared, You stole from greed of necessity, not of luxury. You lied to silence, but spoke truth when truth was hardest. Therefore, your guilt shall be carved into service, not into flesh. 3 moons' labor, restoring the royal library. Books your skill, once made invisible, shall be made legible again. 2 evenings a week, in my chambers, study of statute, ethics, and the algebra of light, so that craft is wedded to conscience. Your mother's physic discharged to the crown's charity. Let no cough go uncleansed, because her son bore blame. A murmur of mercy rippled through the crowd. Eric bowed, tears spotting the oak boards. Then, addressing Suhail the mercer, Tijudin the landholder, Jamil the farmer, and the nameless clockkeeper, he continued, You styled yourselves Robin's shades, taking from the rich, giving crumbs to the poor. Yet you sat in secret judgment, weighing purses and destinies. No court entrusted to you all hoarded treasure is forfeit, half to the rightful owners, half to the city's hospital of St. Bridget, for the perpetual care of the poor, whose names you usurped. Each of you shall wear the broad arrow tunic for 2 full years, laboring upon the public dikes, by day and by night, copying the Great Charter until its letters sleep in your fingers. When your term is served, you will stand upon the market cross each quarter day and repeat, I stole not from greed of gold, but from greed of righteousness. Yet righteousness without law is only another thief. Let the crowd hear. And remember, next, regarding the underground network, he proclaimed, let every vault, whose threshold was breached, be mapped and sealed. The Crown will commission new drains above ground, that sunlight may walk where secrecy once crawled. And finally, for the city itself, he decreed, let a tithe be levied, 1 penny in the pound, upon every house that owned a tunnel mouth. This coin shall build a college of craft and conscience, where dyers may learn dying, and magistrates may learn mercy. Thus the thread of Eric's father shall bind the wound his son once tore. Ser Aldric lifted the rock crystal sphere. Dawn light fractured through it, painting rainbows upon the faces of the condemned and the delivered alike. Justice, he declared, is not the balancing of gold against gold, but of intention against consequence. Today, we have weighed both. Let the scales stand recorded. The bell tolled again. Outside, the first true sunrise of winter broke over Silverbrook, cold, clean, and wide enough for every shadow to be seen. Balcony doors stood open to the lilac evening. Below, the market square hummed with lanterns that no longer guarded secrets, but only welcomed travelers. Ser Aldric accepted the porcelain cup. Deem curled like a question mark. You asked how I knew the thief would betray himself by flame. He said, a law-abiding soul can endure 10 minutes of its own heartbeat. A guilty one invents errands for every second. When I saw a lamp burning where no watcher stood, I knew the absent man had stepped sideways into mist, into art, into error. The lifted light was his signature. Vanity always signs the canvas it thinks invisible. Baldwin leaned upon the rail, and if Eric had never lifted it, then the lantern would have told another tale, perhaps the same tale, slower. Truth is patient. It will sit beneath a carpet stone until curiosity kneels. Far below, children chase fireflies between the new fountain and the free school steps. Somewhere inside, Eric was teaching a girl to weave a thread so white it drank the dusk and returned it as dawn. Ser Aldric raised his cup to the square, to the children, to the lamps that now served only to shine. Remember, Baldwin, justice is not the extinguishing of light, but the turning of it outward, so every door may see every footfall, and every shadow may name itself. The bell of St. Cuthbert rang, the 10th minute of evening. No one moved, no lamp rose. The city breathed, unafraid of its own stillness, and the magistrate smiled into his tea.